The Justice Department just subpoenaed 5 Democratic officials in Minnesota, including Governor Tim Walz in Minneapolis, Mayor Jacob Frey. This marks a major escalation in the standoff between state leaders and federal immigration enforcement. Here's what we know for certain. 3,000 ICE and Border Patrol agents have been deployed to the Twin Cities. That's 5 times larger than the entire Minneapolis police force. The deployment came after the fatal shooting of Renee Good, an American citizen and mother of 3, by an ICE officer during an enforcement operation on January 7th. The DOJ is investigating whether Minnesota officials conspired to obstruct federal officers. They're using the same federal statute that was applied to some January 6th rioters, conspiracy to impede federal law enforcement. Both sides have completely different narratives here. Federal authorities claim Minnesota leaders are blocking legitimate law enforcement operations and protecting criminals. Minnesota officials argue the DOJ is weaponizing the justice system to silence political opposition and intimidate local leaders who criticize federal tactics. What makes this particularly complex is that we're watching a constitutional tension play out in real time. States have legitimate concerns about how federal immigration enforcement affects their communities and residents. The federal government has constitutional authority over immigration, policy, and enforcement. The timing matters. Attorney General Pam Bondi arrived in Minnesota the same day these subpoenas were served. Mayor Frey has been ordered to appear in federal court February 3rd. Daily protests and confrontations between residents and federal agents have become the norm in Minneapolis. Both perspectives have valid points. Federal immigration enforcement is constitutionally legitimate. But using grand jury subpoenas against elected officials who criticize that enforcement raises serious questions about free speech and local autonomy. This isn't just about Minnesota. Whatever happens here will set precedents for how federal and state governments interact during enforcement operations nationwide. We're witnessing a fundamental test of federalism and the limits of both federal power and state resistance.